Lucky Lefty Podcast, Honora Boys. We are in the building and we are brought to you by Honora Whiskey. It is HonoraWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. And if you drink, please, by all means, make sure that you do it
responsibly.
Let's get it lit. Lucky Lefty Podcast. I am Shaun Davis, SD2 Mics, that dude right there, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE. Brought to you by Honora Whiskey, HonoraWhiskey.com. It's that premium American whiskey. Hit us up, join us, subscribe on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. And then you need to know, you can tap in with us on social media, Instagram, X, TikTok. Courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And we are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. And right now, Notre Dame is the favorite to win the national championship in 2026. And CJ Carr, no longer the co-favorite with Arch Manning. He is the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. You can find that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, or you can simply download the FanDuel app. Left, how you feeling, bro?
Another day, another dollar, man, and connected with Brady Edmonds and the team, and it's actually pretty cool, man. I got to get a glimpse as to the world of a top quarterback in high school in 2026 and the life that they're taking on, and kind of the communications that happen between the school and the kid, and it's just a different world, man. Like even speaking on the Brown receiver out of 2027 top, Jamie Brown, I think his name.
Yeah.
He had to leave his high school to go to a school closer to Columbus because I guess it's like you got to be in this league where we keep an eye on you and this and that and keep in touch. It's crazy, or is it?
Look, Trey Taylor, the 27 quarterback, transferred from Carmel here in Chicago to go to Nebraska, a high school about 20 minutes outside of Lincoln, to help recruit and be closer to the program.
Well, no, that type. That's real. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So, high school football is just different, man, and it is a cool place to be in right now, and learning everything. And I just find it like it's gonna be interesting when I have my two little ones going through it, what it would be like, 12, 13 years from now. But man, this is insane. It's insane.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Speaking of that, your experience at the Elite 11. You went through that process yourself. I think you were in the same class as people like Josh Dobbs and Jared Goff. Yeah, man. Check this out.
12 Elite 11 quarterback MALIK ZAIRE. You're helping coach up some guys today. How's it feel to be back at the Elite 11?
It's perfect. I mean, I remember my time being here and being so nervous and just anticipating all these good guys coming and trying to see the competition. And now that I'm coaching it, just helping these guys learn and just take the next step.
How did the Elite 11 impact your growth as a quarterback?
It was everything, man, especially when you're coming from a small town and you want to rank yourself amongst the best in the country, and getting a chance to go to the regional, and then from the regional to the finals, and then you seeing the best of the best at your grade. It makes you feel good going back to school and knowing that you're the top of your class. and that if you can keep this going into college, who knows, you'd be closer to the NFL than you realize.
Mention the NFL. There's actually a couple of guys from your class that are still playing in the NFL right now. Jared Goff, Josh Dobbs. What was so special about your group back in the day?
That I came before Jared Goff, in that final Elite 11. But shout out Jared, man. It's just awesome to see him continue to be as good as he is. The cream of the crop comes through Elite 11, and I'm glad that I'm lifelong friends with these guys, and I'm just glad to be a part of family.
What's your best piece of advice for an aspiring Elite 11 QB?
Just keep practicing. This isn't the end of the world, and these guys will be your friends for life.
First of all, let me go back here, ladies and gentlemen, because that look, he must have gone to a local Julio back in the day before he went to the Elite 11. That line in their haircut, that's what I want to talk about. Nice interview, Left. Nice interview. The part, superb. Now, I was shocked that you went with the 1/4 part. You went with the 1/4 part, right? You didn't go like the little swirl or the one that went the entire length. You went with the 1/4. That was really safe. You look like you got like a nice little razor line and somebody hooked you up.
It's a whole story behind that, man. I really wanted to be different, man. I was like, let me do something like the Fresh Prince, coming to the Elite 11, try to make my name known. And my barber said, I got the look for you. I said, put that part in there to let them know when I get on camera, I ain't just looking regular. I ain't just looking. So, man, I really, got into it, man. You really got to have a character when you get into these fields like that. You know what I mean? You got to have something that stands out about you, because it's really that tough. I mean, guys are really, there's only so many things you can do to look different. And you got to stand out, man.
It was clean, bro. I have to give it to you.
That's right. might have to bring it back, man.
It was clean. It's clean. It's clean. You know what? With that style roll today,
I don't know, man. I'm out here in California where all these kids.
Yeah. It's funny because you didn't put the juices and berries in there with it, though. See, I
did. That was day 3 of being out there, though. See, I didn't.
Oh.
They was tough on TSA with the 10 ounces.
Right. With the liquids. Right.
Couldn't get away with some of them juices and berries. They were too big. Right. That's the water phase. I'm just trying to throw a little water in there.
Right.
So I could have did better, but man, I'm telling you, it was crazy.
Hey, Wes, the Irish Raider, said he had an audition for the New Edition comeback.
Half a sports, man. Half a sport. You got to be entertaining out here, man. You can't have a thing.
Hey, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you, man.
The only place you can have a boring game is golf. That's the only place that big is having a boring game. Anything else, man, you got to be half man, half exciting. But like I was saying about California, the hairstyle, man, the kids these days, man, I don't know if I call it the halfy cut. They got this curly fro thing that all the kids rocking.
Yeah.
You know how Odell had that mohawk that was like famous, the golden mohawk thing that was curled, looked like he permed into something.
Yeah.
That's what the kids do out here. They don't believe in waves out here. Out here is all about this curly, long, like, man. I don't think maybe it's because I'm from the Midwest. So I be thinking about these ain't masculine haircuts. You know what I mean? I'm like, you got the line up with the part. These fluffy haired, curly cute kids out here, man. Like, I don't know, man. Times really be changing or something.
In today's show, we are going to jump into the tight end room, a room that we really believe can be very surprising. Is there or could there be the next Michael Mayer? No. Could Ian Premer be that next Michael Mayer type?
He's nice.
Is there going to be another Eli Rareman? Someone that comes into their own? Could it be Jack Larson? Could it be Ty Washington? Could it be James Flanagan? we're going to talk about the tight ends, because as much as we want and as much as Left has said, yo, 2 guys need to come out of that, man, crop of wide receivers, that wealth of wide receivers and high ceiling talent that we have right now, man, you might have a go-to guy come out of that tight end room, Left. You just might. You might have a guy that you can go to on 3rd down, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 to make it a little bit easier for one CJ Carr. So we'll talk about the tight end room. But we want to start right here, Left. I want to ask you a question, and then I'll clear the runway, and then we're going to play some audio to kind of support what we want to talk about, Notre Dame fans. And if you want to get in on the chat, we're going to have an LL question of the day coming up. Left, is Notre Dame, or does Marcus Freeman have Notre Dame right on schedule to win a national championship? Does Marcus Freeman have Notre Dame right on schedule to win a national championship?
Marcus Freeman has everything in front of him, meaning that, do you have all the ingredients to win a championship? I think we do. I think we've had it since 2023. And I think we've even done more and completed that, all the recipe list to make something of a national championship, especially this year. You got your main ingredient as the quarterback. You got the defense, sauteed just right in the top 5, top 10 range. You can win games like that. We were trying to put the 3-course meal together. We had a banging salad, a banging dessert, but the main course was a little off. But then Marcus Freeman dug deep in that bag, dug deep in the stew pot, found a couple different spices and made it nice. And now he's like, okay, we got it. We got the 3-course meal that can last us and get us through. And I think that's this year. It's hard to look at things that we don't have that can point to us not being a championship team. You look at every position we have right now, and you can say that's competitive enough to win a championship. And the better part is we're at least 3 deep in most positions. How many teams in the country can say they're 3 deep in most positions, especially important positions? The only position we're not deep at, and that's because we just don't know, is that's quarterback, which I think is a high premium of concern early on in the year, off season, fall camp, because it's about health. CJ's biggest battle is health, because you're the one person that can't get hurt this year. I mean, you're going to get banged up, but you can't be missing no games. That's why I think the spring game should literally be a gladiator battle to the death for the backup spot. Like, both quarterbacks, Noah and whoever else is in there, need to go in there and make a claim. Give the people something to feel good about, and not that we got to go to the portal, because that would be the worst thing. CJ have an awesome year, wins the Heisman, we win a championship, and he leaves. Oh my gosh, that would be terrible. It'd be great, but it'd be terrible. That would darn near take our program back a couple of years. But in terms of the window and winning now, Marcus Freeman got it. He got it.
I asked this question because, just on the heels of our conversation last week about Marcus Freeman, whether or not he's met expectations at Notre Dame, and the myriad of responses, the diverse responses we got. We got some that said the expectation is winning the national championship. We have some that said he exceeded expectations. And then some people just said flat out, yeah, he met expectations thus far. And so I started to look at this conversation and furthering it. Is Notre Dame on schedule? Marcus Freeman going into his 5th year. And the first 4 years have seen, in my opinion, tremendous growth as a head coach by Marcus Freeman. There's still room to grow, especially in-game decisions. I think offensively, taking the leash off. I think one of the things we pointed out is it seems like he's more willing to take chances in special teams than he is in offense. And maybe that's because he didn't have a second-year quarterback or a quarterback that he felt like he could trust to go ahead and allow the offense to be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe we get to see that.
He looked more comfortable going for it in special teams than he ever did third and short or leaning on the offense to push a moment. Like, I felt like he just really relied on the comfortability that he knows our defense most likely isn't going to give up a touchdown, and that special teams is our biggest get out of jail free card. And I think that's just the mind shift has to be offense is our leading force. And as a head coach has been doing it for this way for so long, I just think it would be hard for him to think, okay, I'm going to win this game through the offense. When have we done that? Seriously, when have we won a game through the offense since Marcus Freeman's been here?
You talking about a big game?
Any game. I think most games. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not going to just say big games. I would just say any game of relevance. It's never been led offensively.
I think their offensive performance, although it wasn't through the air, their offensive performance against Clemson in 22-3.
Oh, you talking about the Ian game?
No, that was 22. No, that was the Drew Pine game because Ian didn't play.
Right. Okay, that
was Drew Pine game. Ian was gone. Tyler Buckner was hurt. Drew Pine started. They ran the ball, dude. Don't forget, that was a top 5 Clemson defense, and they just lined up and ran the ball down Clemson's throat for like 200-something yards.
That was based on, but that whole game plan was based on DJ not having a day. DJ just happened to have a day that day.
No. You talking about the game with Brian? That was Brian Kelly. Marcus Freeman, you talking about the overtime game. Brian Kelly was coaching that game.
See, the fact that I can't even pinpoint what we're talking about just shows that we've been defensive reliant to win football games.
I mean, your point stands. I just wanted to make sure we got the right game in reference.
But I think that it has to be the offensive shift because of where the strength lays. And not saying that we don't have a strength in our defense, but I mean, come on, man. You your quarterback is favored to win the Heisman, and we don't have a game for 6 months. Like, that's a long time.
I mean, a lot of people, and I'll say this, a lot of people will point to the defense, and look, I promise you, I'm just being objective and giving another side of the coin in this discussion. I'm not saying anything definitive about how I feel about this particular game, but I want to reference the Texas A&M game. And I still say this, right? Notre Dame had full control of that game with a chance to go up double digits late in the third quarter. And CJ Carr throws an interception. You would love for your defense to always be dependable. Unfortunately, with the change in coordinator, that defense wasn't as dependable early in the season as they were going to be late in the season. And this is, please don't run and say, you're blaming CJ Carr. I'm not blaming CJ Carr. I'm just playing to the point that Left is trying to make. At some point, as a team in big games, the offense is going to have to take the bull by the horn and say, yo, defense, we got it this rip.
Because it never happened during the Riley.
I'll give you a perfect example, Left. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm glad you said that. Let me give you as evidence the 2022 semifinal. When Georgia's defense failed them against C.J. Stroud and Ohio State. Ohio State was lighting them up. Lighting them up. Double-digit deficit in the fourth quarter. And all of a sudden, here comes the Georgia's offense. Georgia's offense just big play, big play, big play. And ultimately, Ohio State, because Georgia's defense couldn't stop them, gets into field goal range, and their kicker just misses the game-winning field goal attempt. And Georgia goes on to win its second national championship. That's a game where the standard at Georgia was their defense didn't have a good day. Couldn't get it done.
Have a good day, yeah.
And, the offense said to the defense on that day, we got y'all.
We got
y'all. Have our back in the national championship game, but on this night, we got you. And at some point, to what you're saying, Left, correct me if I'm wrong, at some point in a big game, the Notre Dame offense is going to have to pick up the Notre Dame defense. We know the defense is the anchor. We know the run game is the anchor of the program. But at some point, the Notre Dame offense in the passing game is going to have to pick it up.
Or even just finishing games. You think about Ohio State. That's a great point, Left.
You made a great point.
Our anchors got us to where we needed to be for the offense to just take us home. We didn't even need them to score. We just needed them to take us home. Yeah. Get the 4-1. Get a first down. We relied on our anchors. We ran the heck out of the football. We got it exactly where we wanted it. 10-7, fourth quarter. The strengths of Marcus Freeman's philosophies at its maximum. Still couldn't get it done. That's why the offense just do your job in the moment we need you. The offense has always just been there. Mm-hmm. Because of defensive success, whether we give the offense good field position, whether we jumpstart the offense with a turnover, whether we close the game out with 2 picks against USC, the defense has always been the reason why we've won the game. Or special teams. You think about Georgia, the kickoff return, the special teams switcheroo thing where we get never has offense been a memorable factor in a game where we're like, we needed this. Heck, Penn State, Christian Gray with the pick before the end of the when is the offense ever? I think maybe Aeneas Williams Sluggo or Steve Angeli's second end of the half, 6 or 7. It was
the drive for the field goal. Yeah, that was huge.
But it's never been offense outright. And we've had the opportunities last year. Miami game. I know it was tough. Not an ideal situation. But you got the game-winning drive. What else can you ask for? 2016, we were 4-8. 7 of those 8 losses, we were on game-winning drives. What are you asking for? Heck, even in the NFL, the Chiefs, their Super Bowl year, won 8 games by less than what? A touchdown? The next year lost 11 games by less than a touchdown. It'll be like that sometimes, but we don't have the excuse to not do it this year offensively, because at the end of the day, if you're gonna win the Heisman, CJ, you just gonna have to be important. And Fernando Mendoza is a great example of being important. You read off the stats. They ran the ball 70% of the time. So that 30% was important. Hell, So, okay, maybe you don't have 4,000, 3,500 yards, whatever. But hell, that whatever percentage of the game you're included, it was the deciding factor. I just don't think Marcus, but then to Marcus Freeman's credit, he's never had the guy that he could lean on offensively from a quarterback standpoint to feel like, okay, offense can take over. Hell, the Tyler Buckner Ohio State game at Ohio State, offense just couldn't. Defense had C.J. Stroud in a fit, probably his worst game all season. The same game you just talked about lighting up a Georgia national championship team. CJ had his worst game against our defense. And that just shows you how lack thereof offense we had. Or just how they just couldn't rise to the level of the defense since Marcus Freeman has been here. Because if you look on paper, defensively, all those big games we lost, even the NIU, the Stanfords, defense gave a great chance for us to win the game. And you look at big games like the Texas-Georgia game at Texas, defense didn't give them a chance. Defense didn't give them a chance. Hell, offense didn't give them a chance. But we're uniquely different is that our defense, no matter what year Marcus Freeman has been there, has legitimately given us a chance to win. No other team in college football has done that. Seriously, what game has been out of reach for Notre Dame in the last 4 years? The only one you can think of is what, Ohio State, and that was 11 points?
No, that was a close game. That was a fourth quarter game.
But I'm saying there's never been a game.
Maybe the Louisville game.
Out of reach?
23. Yeah, it was.
But that's because the offense just couldn't. I mean, oh my goodness.
That was a bad night, bro. Watching that game is painful to watch. Watching that game is painful to watch. But no, they've never just been manhandled or just that's a good point. That's a good point. They did put up a stinker against Marshall. They still had a chance, but that was a stinker as well.
Everybody we have chances. So, I mean, and for the offense to just never rise to the occasion is crazy. Even Texas A&M last year against us, their offense rose to the occasion. They couldn't do it versus Miami, but they rose to the occasion with a game-winning touchdown. And they're more so as an offense than we are. So that's why CJ is important this year. That's why it matters that he has the most success. Because, dude, historically, offense has just never been to the level of the defense. Ever. Especially when the defense has given you every single chance to win. The only time I've ever felt out of a game where I was like, man, we had no chance was literally 2012 national championship game. Since that moment, I've never felt like we've gotten beaten where I'm like, damn, we were just the worst team, the worser team. Who else in college football can say it? Not Bama. I saw Jalen Milroe throw 4 picks against Oklahoma. And lose that game horribly. What game have we lost horribly? That's why I don't understand the perception of Notre Dame where they just say we're just so trash. But like all them games, them teams was fighting for their life. It ain't like teams just like, thank God we got Notre Dame. We've been to crush. No. It's like, okay, you guys won, but we took you to the wire, and you're hurting. You ain't just walking out the game like. So that's why I'm like, How are we not that close? Because, going back to our sentiments about the Pop-Tart Bowl, what do we really have to prove by beating BYU? The one or two games that Notre Dame has to prove to anybody is beating Ohio State. That's it. That's it. Who else does Notre Dame need to beat in the eyes of America to prove that we're whatever? It's only one game. So yeah, walking away from BYU is not a big deal to us. Because what is that doing for us? So it's tough, man. It's tough because if any team is close to winning, if you just like we're so close and it's so bad that you got people saying Notre Dame can win a championship. That's how close we are. The team that everybody talks about freezing out, needs to join the conference, soft, don't want to play nobody, greedy, all the things they say about us. But at the end of the day, we're so close that they can't deny it. They're like, but Notre Dame's going to win. not Notre Dame's going to be 5-5.
You know what's crazy, Lev? I was telling somebody this. There's always a negative slant against Notre Dame on all of these recruiting platforms. Always a negative slant. But it's to a point now where it would be too obvious for them to slant things now. No, Marcus Freeman is cooking. Notre Dame is cooking so well on the recruiting trail. They changed the narrative and the culture amongst high schoolers, not just in the Midwest, in Florida, in the Carolinas. Now they're going up into the northeastern part, into Pennsylvania and New Jersey, re-energizing that area like Lou Holtz had it when he was getting everybody like Ricky Waters and Rocket out of the PA. They're going out to California, pulling all the best linebackers out of there. They're going to Arizona. They're going to Texas. They're getting St. Louis. The pipeline is crazy. And they're taking all the former NFL players' sons. It's like now, at best, you have to be neutral when you talk about Notre Dame.
Yeah, you just can't just be talking crazy because we got too much going on.
They just put it in neutral. So now when you read these columns, it's like, okay, they're being neutral. Even if they feel like the kid is leaning somewhere else, they're not dismissive of Notre Dame. They're like, and Notre Dame is in the mix. Notre Dame is a team to watch. You darn right Notre Dame is a team to watch.
How many times we got to see these content creating sports talk Joe Klatz be so Jekyll and Hyde on Notre Dame?
Oh man.
It's like they have to be so extreme. Either it's Notre Dame is the toughest 2-loss team I've ever seen in my life, to Notre Dame, CJ Carr is an undisputed top draft pick quarterback, to Notre Dame really should have never been in the playoffs because they lost to Miami. It's like it's just too extreme. Which one, Joe? You love us. Marcus Freeman is the best head coach. He gets it. Oh, but Marcus Freeman is going to leave Notre Dame for some NFL. It's like, man, they can't just say Notre Dame is Notre Dame. They got to have a hot take about Notre Dame. And that's the only problem. Think about how active Pete Bavacqua had to get this offseason. What AD in the country has gotten more active than Pete Bavacqua? Name one. I don't even know the ADs of other schools. Pete Bavacqua had to go on a press tour to calm down to haters. Literally had to go explain all the stuff that we're doing in the behind the scenes as professionals. For the first time, we had to go out to the public and be like, hey guys, this is what we are doing. This is how we feel. because the haters have put out so much negative information about us. We've never before have been put on so much blast and speculation ever before. So Pete Vavakwa had to be like, okay, guys, I got to come out here. I got to go to Good Morning America. I got to go to Pat McAfee. I got to go to these conferences and be telling people, hey, Notre Dame, we're not the bad guy. Look at what we're doing. From TV to recruits to the coaching being the hottest thing and the best coaching option in every job opening to y'all focusing on the wrong things. Jim Phillips, ACC, we're just trying to do good business. USC trying to freeze us out. We ain't got another replacement just that fast. How are we the bad guys? So I do think it's interesting Notre Dame's placement in history right now. We're the strongest, steadiest thing in college football. Not Ohio State. Not Alabama. Definitely not Clemson. What other program has been as stable as Notre Dame? I don't know.
Georgia and Ohio State.
Has Georgia?
Left, we're not about to do this. We're not about
Has Ohio State?
Yes, they've been. Left. You talking about in during Marcus Freeman's tenure?
Well, I mean, it depends on where we want to, how long we want to take it, because this Marcus Freeman has an era.
No, we're talking about Marcus Freeman. I'm not talking about the last 10 years. I'm talking about Marcus Freeman's tenure. Does Marcus Freeman have Notre Dame on schedule? That's what we're talking about. Over the last 5 years, Ohio State and Georgia have been far more stable than Notre Dame.
When you say far more stable, what does that mean? Because I don't know how much further away from Notre Dame
they've recruited better.
They haven't. Better recruiting classes.
Say what?
We've had better recruiting classes the last 2 out of 4 years.
What? The last
2
what?
Years.
No,
This
they
year,
have not. No, they have not.
Ohio State had better classes than us the last 2 years?
Yes, they did.
No.
Not this year. Not this year. But previous to this year, yes.
Not last year.
Yes, they did. 25 was a subpar recruiting class.
Hold on.
They did nothing offensively.
27.
26 was the first time Notre Dame beat Georgia and Ohio State in recruiting. And under Marcus Freeman.
So that's two of the four. That's 2 of the 4.
That's 1 of the 4. What do you mean that's 2 of the 4?
Hold on.
The 26 class is the first time Marcus Freeman was top 5 in recruiting. The first time.
What was 20? Where did we finish 25?
25, they were like 9 or 11.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, they be rearranging stars and stuff. So
no, I wasn't rearranging. The offensive class wasn't that good. It just wasn't. It is what it is. If the offensive class matched the defensive class in 25, they might have been top 5. So no, they have not been more consistent than Georgia and Ohio State the last 5 years.
Okay.
They just haven't.
Well, we're it's not heads and shoulders above. It's not heads and shoulders above.
Well, that depends on how you judge it. A national championship is worth a whole bunch of points. That's all I'm saying.
We're splicing games. Then we literally lost to Ohio State for the championship.
Ohio State beat you. Ohio State has beaten you how many times? 3 times in the last 5 years?
Way too many.
I'm just asking. They've beaten you 3 times in the last 5 years. Okay, you got Georgia in the Sugar Bowl last year, right? That was a big win.
If we had a championship mixed in one of those years, it would.
But they don't. And Georgia has 2 championships in the last 5 years.
Yes.
So,
but they're trending down. They're trending down.
I won't argue that point. I will not argue that point at all.
We've actually been trending up the entire time. I would argue
agree.
We have trended up more than Ohio State and Georgia. They've cashed out. That's like saying Michigan is a better program than us. I don't think so. They got
No,
it cashed out on the
you have to
championship.
extrapolate. You have to extrapolate 5 years. I mean, most people will include the cheating scandal. And in the last 2 years, they've been pretty awful. So, or mid. So I think Michigan is a totally different conversation. But we're going to use Georgia and Kirby Smart as a reference coming up next as we get ready to switch over. Subscribe to us, hit that thumbs up button. We greatly appreciate audio edibles each and every day over Bleav Network. And then we are presented by FanDuel, TikTok, Twitter, X, Instagram. Lucky Lefty Podcast. All right, Left. Now that we've come to the agreement that Notre Dame is right on schedule, right? And the reason they're right on schedule is because there are usually really good coaches when they come in and they change the culture, right? Kirby Smart came in, and he came in behind a head coach at Georgia that was there for a long time, that was very successful, put a lot of players in the pros, was a really good dude, a much better dude than the former head coach in Notre Dame. However, he could not win the big game and could not get Georgia over the hump. That was the case. Love Coach Rick, good dude. Love watching him on the ACC network, break down ACC games. But unfortunately, his time at Georgia needed to come to an end. He just wasn't the right guy to get Georgia over the hump. Kirby Smart comes in. And usually when you come in and you are that guy to get the program over the hump, you have early success, right? Because there's an excitement, there's a buzz, there's a buy-in from the players because they know you're the guy. But you still have to go out on the field and you still have to earn it. And usually in the midst of that, there comes a time where you're kind of ahead of schedule, right? So 2016 Georgia, they go 8-5, go to the Liberty Bowl. The very next year, in year 2, just year 2, they make it to the college football playoff national championship. The very next year. It is amazing that they came away from that game with an L. It's amazing that they came away from that game with an L. Big comeback win in the Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. And then they go to the national championship game. They have, in my opinion, Alabama dead to rights. Double-digit lead. Jalen Hurts is playing awful. They have to bring in this true freshman named Tua Tagovailoa. And next thing you know, in overtime, Nick Saban has another national championship. And it was really just crazy thinking about it, right?
Oh, crazy.
And you have to think, man, Georgia, they should have won that game. They're right there. But what happens? They go 11-3 the next year, losing the Sugar Bowl. 2019, they go 12-2, losing the Sugar Bowl again. 2020, truncated season, they go 8-2, win the Peach Bowl. 2021, first national championship. So after Kirby Smart comes in, changes the culture, builds the excitement, gets the buy-in from the players in the program, exceeds expectations, it's another 3 years before he finally gets it all together to win the national championship. They go back to back with those two. Those are probably two of the best teams ever in Georgia football history. 21 and 22. Definitely 21. Talent on the 21 team for Georgia was absolutely insane. Just insane. And they haven't done anything since then. And like you said, Left, it seems like the Georgia program is kind of coming back to the pack. After that second championship, they were clearly head and shoulders above everybody else. Clearly. They lost a lot of good coaches. The transfer portal, NIL, impacted the program. There's a lot of things that Kirby's trying to kind of circle the wagons to see if he can get a third national championship. But that brings me to this point, because we just talked about Marcus Freeman being on schedule. Because Marcus Freeman, in my opinion, very similar to Kirby Smart, was ahead of schedule. That 24 national championship, in my opinion, was ahead of schedule with what he had to do. I think that ultimate hurdle is Ohio State, but I think there are some other hurdles within the program and within his own coaching that need to be jumped over or overcome to be able to defeat an Ohio State in a big-time matchup. But I want you to take a listen to Joel Klatt, Lev. Joel Klatt gave Marcus Freeman a lot of flowers and shares with us where he places Marcus Freeman among the elites in head coaching in college football. Check this out.
Freeman's outstanding. I think if you look at what Notre Dame was when Brian Kelly left, we, as a college football public, assumed that Notre Dame had peaked and that there was a ceiling over Notre Dame and that it couldn't be done. And you couldn't get the caliber of player needed to go and potentially win a national championship. Now, listen, I know that he hasn't won a national championship, but he played for one. And guys, like, they were right there with Miami in week one with a guy that was making his first start in CJ Carr. You could make it a strong argument that they should have been in the playoff. It was the ACC's bungled championship game tiebreaker rule that really screwed Notre Dame, or else they would have been in the playoff. And they could have made some noise. Now, I'm not saying they would have won the national championship. We had a team go undefeated in Indiana. But I'm just saying, like, this is the level that they're playing at. He's elevated the talent in South Bend. I think that's absolutely better. There's a reason that the NFL has been knocking around this guy and sniffing around. And there were talks that the Giants wanted Marcus Freeman at one point. Notre Dame was smart to redo his deal back in December. That was very smart on their part. He's just 40 years old. Like, the guy, to me, is class, integrity, toughness. His teams are physical. I think he's learned along the way. He made some mistakes early as a head coach when he got this job, in particular in critical moments in big games. He's gotten much better in terms of game management. So there's Marcus Freeman, number 5 at Notre Dame.
All right. Number 5. Sounds fair. Sounds fair.
Like, I gotta put you at 5 because you can't jump a guy that won championships. You know, you can't.
Here's the list. Here's the list, Lev. Here's the list. His top 8.
I'm arguing Dan Lanning, though, man. I'm arguing Dan Lanning.
That seems to be the sweet spot for people to kind of be upset about Marcus Freeman being 5.
What does Dan Lanning produce?
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question? What has Sark done? If we're gonna get on Dan Lanning, then I need to know what Sark has done.
No, Sark's fine because Kyle Whittingham is 7.
That's just a longevity. That's that's like a LeBron James award. Like, just been in the game for a long time. So just
LeBron would be 2 on the
stat padding, all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's like a LeBron James award.
Kyle Whittingham is like LeBron James. Got it.
Yeah, yes, you got it. Now go ahead.
Got it.
Yes. I'll be honest. I don't think number 9 should be number 9. He literally just had 1 year. Yeah, 1 year.
Oh, you don't even think he should be on the list?
No, I don't think Mario Cristobal should be 9. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That means you don't like 8 neither.
Are you telling me that, let's be objective here? Please, chat. Please get involved. Mario Cristobal is a better football coach than Kalen DeBoer? Are we really about to say that?
I don't think so.
I know not. Kalen DeBoer been to a national championship.
DeBoer's a good coach.
You darn right he is. He just ain't Nick Saban. That's his problem at Alabama. He's just not Nick Saban.
He can't be at Alabama. If he was anywhere else, he'd get more respect.
Absolutely. So no, Mario Cristobal is not better than Kalen DeBoer. Heck, is Mario Cristobal the best head coach in the ACC?
Well, you say Mario Diaz is better?
Let's be honest. I don't care what has happened in the last 3 years. Is Mario Cristobal a better head coach than Dabo Swinney?
No.
Okay, then.
No.
I think people forget what Dabo did at Clemson.
People definitely forget about Dabo. Wow, I didn't even think about that.
Dabo's not even in the top 10.
Joe.
See, Joe's a prisoner of the moment. He's a prisoner of the moment.
Prisoner of the moment.
He's a prisoner of the moment.
Realistically, in an unbiased or whatever, Dabo's top 5. Dabo's top 5. I don't know where he's in the top 5.
Let's keep it a buck. Kurt Signetti won one.
I was just about to say that.
He won one. He won it at Indiana. That's a great feat.
He's not one.
Is he Kirby?
He's top 10. I think he ain't even.
Does he deserve to be number 1?
Not after
I'm
1
just
year.
saying.
Not after 1 year.
I mean, there's a lot here that we can really. I'm like, Joe.
Because if it's after 1 year, how is Cristobal so far from Signetti?
You might as well put Cristobal like in the top 5.
Yeah, Cristobal got to be top 5.
He beat Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, we got too many questions. We got too many questions.
Far too many.
Yeah. We once after further review, Joe, it's a real suspect list. Half of it is. I don't even think you can say prisoner of the moment. Because if this is the list, I'm putting in Lincoln Riley over Kyle Whittingham.
And see, Dabo doesn't have a coaching problem. Dabo has, and it's not a problem. I want to make sure I say this correctly because people, the corruption in the game is all around him, and he has sworn to remain.
Fight it. Yeah, that's it.
And he's sworn to stick to his morals, which is absolutely fine, but you're not going to win that way. You're not going to win that day. You're just not going to win that way in today's college football. People are going to respect you. Man, you're going to be a great man, a man of integrity, but unfortunately, your program is going to suffer. And that is exactly what has happened with Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney is just as good of a coach as he's always been. He's made some really questionable hires.
All his stuff is recruiting.
On his coaching staff, but his recruiting, portal, coaching staff, he slipped in those areas, made some bad choices, allowed his morals. Because look, Marcus Freeman has integrity.
Yeah.
But Marcus Freeman knows what has to be done to accumulate talent in the current landscape of football.
Right.
So there's balance there where he can still be a man of integrity and still build a roster full of ballers like he used to. So if people want to take him out the top 10 because of that decision, I'm fine with that. The Kyle Whittingham at 7, like I said, that's, what has he won?
Yeah, he just got a good job.
What has he won? I mean, I don't want to be disrespectful. I'm just asking what.
He's won games, but ain't won nothing of significance. I mean, he won a 12 championship, 3 years ago? That's
Kalani Sitake at BYU they've done a really good job.
Has got to the playoffs, but that's I mean,
I don't mind him being around 8, 9, 10. I don't. He's a better coach than Mario Cristobal to me.
Cristobal got one season. They done put him in the. He just must be liked. I think he's a well-liked guy.
Yeah.
But if we're being objective, he's not on the list of objective head coaches. He's probably on the top 10 most liked.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Maybe this is a most liked list because you just got to like Cignetti and what his story is to put him at 1. If you're being objective, he's not 1. He's on the list. He just can't be 1.
Yeah. His
season puts him on the list, but you can't. You just fell in love with the story.
Yeah.
Because
absolutely.
If I'm Ryan Day or Kirby Smart, I'm like, this list is trash. Just off of because then what are we talking about? Are we saying top 10 at this very second? Hell, I'll say James Franklin better than Mario Cristobal. He just ain't won no championship. He just lost Ohio State every year.
You know what? I thought about James Franklin being on this list. I really did. The job that Lane Kiffin did at Ole Miss, but I think what Ole Miss was able to do in the playoffs without him, I'm like, were you really that important?
I like Louisville's head coach over Kyle Whittingham.
You know what? I think, I'll be honest, Jeff Brom might be the second best head coach. I think Jeff Brom is the second best head coach in the ACC.
Oh, and you know who's following him? Jeff Brom over. I'll take him. I'll take this guy over Kalani Sitake, and that's the Georgia Tech head coach.
Mario Cristobal made a national championship. But if we're talking about like the last 4 or 5 years, is Mario Cristobal a better head coach than Rhett Lashley at SMU?
Oh man, we ain't even the ACC got some coaches now because Dabo's in that too. So as we talk about,
Dabo is definitely Dabo was a top 10 head coach in college football. Kyle Whittingham can go.
Yeah,
if we're gonna do it, if it's based upon a lifetime achievement award, Dabo deserves to be what Kyle Whittingham is. Easily.
Dan Lanning's not on the list if it's lifetime achievement. Easily. What is Dan Lanning on the list for? Because he got the Nike shoes. That's what it is.
Now, who has this is a great conversation, man. Who has underachieved more? Dan Lanning or Steve Sarkisian?
Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning got blown out. He got blown out in the first year against Ohio State.
You know what? Sark lost in the semifinals to Ohio State by 7. You're right. You're right.
Then he got blown out by Indiana, blown out by Indiana in the playoffs. I mean, then before the playoffs, he was losing to Washington and Kalen DeBoer, which is why Kalen DeBoer should be on the list. What is Dan Lanning on the list for? Hasn't produced a top receiver in how long? He get every top 5 receiver and can't put one in NFL.
That's true. He has 3 5-stars coming back next year with a returning quarterback.
Where's the last 5-star receiver he done put in the NFL? 5-star. Or any receiver that's been notable in the NFL. And he gets all of the top guys. What is Dan Lanning on the list for? Yeah. He gets embarrassed more than anybody on the list. Steve Sarkisian, he can't pull through how you would expect him to. Marcus Freeman is the biggest overachiever on the list because he's the youngest head coach of all. I'm not youngest in age, but youngest in head coaching experience.
Where did Tez Johnson get drafted? I think I know what you're saying. Yeah, because I don't think Tez was a first-round draft pick.
A 7th-round draft pick or something like that.
I don't think Tez wasn't that late. Oh, he was 7th round. Dang, left. You're right.
I know, that's what I'm saying. He ain't,
He was 7th round. That was crazy. I thought Tez went earlier than that. That's pretty good value for the Bucks.
So it's like, what is Dan Lang on the list for? He ain't won nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. Left, look, I agree with you, man. And I think that goes to the point that Marcus Freeman is not only on schedule, or has this program on schedule, but he's definitely one of the best head coaches in all of college football. But I just want to point out, man, when you using Kirby Smart as the litmus test, he was ahead of schedule. I think Marcus Freeman.
5 more minutes and I'll have the number C. You're going to get a second email.
Dabo's won 2 championships, right?
Dabo has 2. He's been to 3 national championship games. He's won 2.
Top, man, come on, this list is trash. How is he not on top? The man won 2 of them. Come on, man.
Yeah.
He ain't even on the list. But damn, Lanning's on the list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Kyle Whittingham's on the list and he won 2.
Yeah.
BYU got embarrassed in the playoff game. They shouldn't even put him on the list if Dabo's not on.
Like I said, man, Joe Klatt is a prisoner of the moment, bro. He's a prisoner of the moment. He's absolutely a prisoner of the moment. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button. It helps with the views. And follow us on social media, TikTok, X, Instagram. And courtesy of Bleav Network, you can find all of our audio podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And we are presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. If you go over to FanDuel right now, what you'll find is that Notre Dame is the odds-on betting favorite to win the national championship. And then he used to be the co-favorite with Arch Manning, but now he is the clear betting favorite to win the Heisman Award in 2026. That is none other than, you guessed it, CJ Carr. You can get that and much more over at FanDuel, FanDuel.com, and download the FanDuel app. And as we said before, on September 5th at 11 a.m., early kick at Lambeau Field. Notre Dame is already installed as a 16.5-point favorite going up against the Wisconsin Badgers with an over-under total of 46.5. You can find it once again at FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app. We have a super chat from my guy Eric Spadell. Shout out to you, Big E. My sentiments exactly. Left is cooking with the truth. Go Irish. I think he's talking about when you were cooking about the offense needing to step up and win one of these big games. Sean Stewart with the GTB says
the offense. You got to think, man. You got to think because the determining factor is going to come through the quarterback. We don't have a Xavier Watts. We don't have a Ben Morrison, and Leonard Moore plays one side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
The special part about this team is going to have to come through CJ Carr. I don't know where else it's going to come from. Everybody else is a strong supporting cast. This is a CJ Carr movie. Marcus Freeman's the co-star. And we got to rock out.
Yeah. I agree, man. Sean Stewart, GTB. If you have a GTB question, super chat, get it in so we can get to it. When Notre Dame wins the Natty, their worst fear will be realized. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the program is right on schedule.
Because what else can you do, SD? I mean, what else can you do? Because not only did we put all the pieces together, we have recruited the spotlight to be on us. We done got TV shows. We done got the A slot as an independent on a national network. What we done played all the big games every year. What else can we do other than win a championship? They might just have to mail us one in the mail for just taking all the right steps. Because at this point, I mean, we got to get rewarded for something. Have you ever heard the story of the guy that does everything right and doesn't win? I ain't never heard of that story before.
You know what? That is good guys finish last, right?
It's not even that we're better than good because we got the best business acumen. We make the most money. So, usually the guys that make the most money, the bad guys.
Hey, Notre Dame is like the daily double too. Because you can be a good steward, but not necessarily be a good business.
Yeah.
person. You can be good with your money, but that doesn't mean that you're good at business. Notre Dame is good at both.
Right.
They're
Like
good at both.
happen to
That's
be good.
what makes them extremely dangerous, in my opinion. They're good at both. They're good at being good stewards, and they're also good at being really good business partners.
We'll throw a Martin Luther King Day march right on campus. Black History Month, birthday, perfect. Bring the black and white picture out, full display, and then we'll charge 23% to use the brand. You know what I'm saying? We charge $500 for a piece of the turf that we replace every 3 months. So, you can do both.
So 2 of the coaches on that top 10 list for Joel Klatt had a little run in last night. Left.
See, I think it's great. I think coaches need to have an end of the year roast. I think these guys are some of the funniest. Like, I think Brian Kelly's funny. I know nobody knows this, but Brian Kelly is a funny dude, man.
I would have lost that bet. If you had bet me that Brian Kelly was funny, there's no way I'm putting money on him being funny.
He's like a rich guy funny, like
he laughs like that.
No, he got rich guy jokes, like like how these guys work. Oh yeah, I get a guy like Carson Beck and get the most out of him, them kind of jokes. Like he real funny with stuff like that.
Let's check it out.
Be careful around Mario. Sometimes he'll take your players, if you know what I mean. It's a great piece right there to watch what a player like Carson Beck could do with great coaching. You know what I mean? Mario's right behind him, and if it had been up to him, he would have paid a lot more NIL money because it came down to us too. So I don't like you being real close to Mario right now. You know what I'm saying? Robinson family, great seeing you. We leave at 9:30 on the Real Jet. Okay. We have more than one restaurant in Miami as opposed to Athens, but we could get to that. And he came up to me, he's like, you ought to start getting on some protein shakes. You've had too many carbs. And I said, well, you probably ought to spend some time with Steve Spurrier because he won more conference championships at Duke than you have at Miami. Did you reach the podium here? I don't know. I remember that. I got to get out of here before Mario goes because I don't want to hear any shit from him. But no, you got to give a guy like Kirby credit. When you have all that time to sit at home watching us play on TV throughout the playoffs, when you don't take care of business, But congratulations on the SEC and the championship. That's awesome. We were 5-0 against the SEC. I don't know what you were, but
look, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. That was good from both guys. Both guys gave it pretty good.
Both guys. It's like we know each other through like other places too. It's not like they just clashing for the first time. These guys have been in the same room coaching together. So just imagine the jokes they have. It's just funny because they both made it in their own perspective ways, right? So the banter is going back to when they was making copies of 500 Nick Saban things he wanted to now they both talking their own stuff. It's good to see, man. It's great that football brings out that natural comedy,
Yeah, Mario Cristobal, Kirby Smart going. I think in that format, I think Marcus Freeman would be really funny.
I don't know, man. Marcus Freeman try to be too.
I think Marcus Freeman would have some zingers, dude. I think he would have some zingers.
He should have been doing that when James Franklin was over there throwing shots. Thomas Hammond when he was out there on TV. Good morning, man. Marcus Freeman had plenty of opportunity to be throwing them things, but whatever. He want to be Will Smith. He want to be.
No, he wants to go. He wants to go to the South and North Pole. That's just.
That brother want the right. He taking the right steps. He want to take all the right steps.
Man.
I think if he wins one, he'll relax a little bit. But they still following him with the cameras for the documentary, so he got to be, he got to be locked in all the time.
Yeah, he has to be on point. I'm not mad at him. So the tight end room left. They lose a lot of production in one person, Eli Raritan, and what he was able to do. Even with that, Eli Raritan is only viewed as probably a mid-second day pick.
He'll get
in the NFL draft.
He'll be out there. He ain't Brock.
I'm not worried about where he gets picked. Notre Dame tight ends produce when they get to the NFL. See, it doesn't matter where they get picked.
He's gonna be out there on Sunday doing something.
Yes. The Chicago Bears, they have a Michigan tight end and 2 Notre Dame tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Ben Johnson knows.
Yeah, Ben Johnson
knows. So, like I said, they lose a lot of production. It wasn't supposed to be that way. Cooper Flanagan and his injury, I think that combination, if Cooper Flanagan was healthy, would have been absolutely amazing. But they only returned 8 receptions and 64 yards in that tight end room worth production. That's Ty Washington and that's Jack Larson. Can you depend on Cooper Flanagan? There was a time where we asked whether or not you can depend on Eli Raritan coming back from his knee injury. So look, if I were to say a prayer or say you have one prayer to send out for this Notre Dame team, let me stop short, because the first prayer everybody would probably send out is for CJ Carter. that would probably be the first prayer. Like, please,
that's at the grotto.
Yes, that's probably the most stated prayer at the grotto. You're right. Closely behind that would probably be the injury bug leaving the tight end room alone in the offseason. Because for the last 2 to 3 years, the tight end room has really been riddled with the injury bug. And so I just really think that this tight end room with Preston Friesel, Ian Premer coming in, I think Ian Premer has an opportunity, even though he's coming in later. He's not going to be part of the spring. But coming into the fall, I really think this guy can be an impactful young man in that tight end room. Can he be that next Michael Mayer? I don't like to put that on anybody coming in, but I think he's going to make an impact. I think he's going to be a matchup problem, especially in the passing game. And I don't know if it's going to be him opening it up for the receivers or the receivers opening up the middle of the field and the flats for Ian Premer and the rest of the tight ends. But it's going to be interesting to watch. I do believe one of the people that Ty Washington is going to be very interesting because he got better as the season went on. I think what he was asked to do at Arkansas was totally different than what he was asked to do at Notre Dame. And he was asked to be that H-back blocking tight end. And that was a little bit different than what he was asked to do at, like I said, asked to do at Arkansas. So, but he adjusted. He got better at it. And he was pretty darn good at blocking late in the season. James Flanagan, dude, you go watch the Stanford tape. that dude was handing it down the stand. I think the last 3 games, his tape was absolutely amazing. Amazing when it comes to run blocking. Cooper Flanagan was one of your best run blocking tight ends before he got injured, especially early on, right? So I see people in the chat worrying about tight end, but man, look, sometimes we worry about things and Notre Dame that Notre Dame always seems to solve. Like the last thing I worry about is blocking and Mike Denbrock teaching along with Harris Biven teaching blocking at the tight end position. That's like Notre Dame wide receivers not knowing how to run block. What? Well, last year, that was a big problem, right? Because we clearly saw Jordan Faison multiple times miss blocking assignments that cost Notre Dame chunk plays in the run game. So I say that, then immediately certain things come to my mind when it comes to Jordan Faison and the run blocking. But that's not to pick on him. It just seemed to happen a couple of times with him. But I don't see run blocking being a problem. I'm more concerned about Notre Dame in the tight end room becoming a viable passing threat, only returning 8 receptions and 64 yards, right? I don't know. Ty Washington is not a top end guy. I don't think Jack Larson is a top end guy. James Flanagan has the opportunity to be more of that guy that can do everything. Anthony Fasano type that can go out there, be a threat in the passing game, but also be a really good blocker. Cooper Flanagan, if he comes back, he was already good at blocking. How much of a threat is he going to be in the passing game coming off the injuries? But more than likely, the high upside is going to come from in the passing game, the high upside during the season, especially vertically, being able to stretch the middle of the field. It's probably going to come from your 2 freshmen. It's probably going to come from your 2 freshmen, primarily Ian Primer. So that's where I stand with the tight end room. It's a mixed bag. I think they benefit from year 2 CJ more than anybody because CJ was hesitant, and you can take it from here, Lev. CJ was so hesitant to attack the middle of the field last year, and that's where your tight ends primarily want to do their damage. And I think CJ becomes a lot more aggressive over the middle of the field. And
I think that's only if they force him. You know what I mean? Like, he's so comfortable throwing away from the traffic, right? That's just a young quarterback thing. You know, when you're in the game and you're looking over the middle and the play goes, it's a lot. I'm not going to lie, it's a lot going on. And, you know, you really got to be tuned in to know where the ball has to go when it's over the middle, just because you can't see. Yeah. Even though CJ's tall enough, you got to really trust yourself in offense. Even going back to that USC pick where he threw the pick trying to throw the ball over the middle to Jadarian Price as a check down. Yeah, it was a little indecisive, but still
that was Texas A&M. That was Texas A&M.
Texas A&M. The way he threw it, it was indecisive. No, he threw one against USC too, though.
Yeah, the one you're talking about with Jadarian was against Texas A&M, though. USC was the one he was running around trying to make a play and
threw it, and it bounced off his hands, right? Or he threw it high, is what I'm saying.
No, he threw it right to the USC guy.
Yeah, I'm talking the Texas A&M where it bounced off the guy. But that's because you're not trusting the throw. You're throwing with it being like, oh, I hope he gets it, so you don't follow through. Right, and a lot of that comes with experience. It comes with knowing, like, because, you know, a lot of times early on, quarterbacks are comfortable with throwing the dig greater than 10 yards. But the 10 yards in that square box around the literal box, throwing in there can be tricky for a quarterback who's not used to it, right? He's used to 7-on-7, throwing the outside go ball, throwing the post, throwing the safer throws and comebacks on the rollouts and stuff. because you can see it. I mean, let's be honest, you can see those throws a lot better. Where CJ takes the next step and where the NFL is so challenging is because you play in the middle of the field, and those are your best mismatches, and finding those lanes to throw are ultra important. And that's where mastering the offense comes in when you're developing a pass game for a guy that's just used to having the bailout. I call it the bailout throws because his best throws are everything outside. Either you're rolling to it, you're using it on third down to do the go balls, the touchdowns, the post routes. CJ's game's got to develop in the middle of the field, and that comes with trust. That comes with just seeing more reps. You know, he was dealing with a quarterback battle last year, so that's half the reps right there. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now you get a full year. You need to start, not need to start, but you should expect him to try more things just because he got a safety net. Plus, you got to win the Heisman, man. So it's less percentage the further away from the line of script, less percentage the further away from the middle of the field you are. And so, you know, I think it's something he's going to figure out as the year goes on, what he's comfortable with and not. But Denbrock's got to use that because we have great tight end. I think consequently the tight ends may suffer a little bit due to what CJ's strengths are. He may be throwing to those Micah Gilberts and those Quincy Porters on the outside more often, and that's fine.
I grabbed this clip because when you started talking about the dig, this is that first interception that he got baited into against Pitt. And you could probably talk about it. Like what they're trying to do.
Yeah, CJ, you know, that guy, you never know what he could be doing in a too high shell, you know, and for him to just be reading strictly quarterback, if he takes the snap right here and peeks the free safety, right, he can confirm where he's at. And the fact that Eli is running into vision. This is just a young quarterback thing. If you're under mastering the offense, right, you got 5 for 5. You got a lot of options. It's 3 deep, 2 under. You got to start thinking, okay, I have to peek the free safety because most likely if they're bringing more than 4, one of those safeties is playing some sort of low coverage. So it doesn't take much. It's just one of those veteran things. You take the snap, your eyes is finding the free safety first, which allows you to have a better understanding because Eli's coming into vision if you're looking to the free safety. He's looking straight for Eli. So you naturally lose vision.
Right. So you're saying he should make eye contact with that backside safety first.
Right. When you're starting out as a young quarterback, you're looking for your guys. When you're playing quarterback at a mastering level, you're reading the defense. This is CJ looking for his guy because on the play sheet, this is the first read. And if I do my job like Denbrock preaches, I should be okay. But, you know, this is game 12. People watch film. You got to start thinking this is real live bullets. Things change. And you got to start reading the defense. If your eyes are on the defensive players, then you probably hold 23 in his spot. Even if you just peeking, he can't just roam around because he sees that you see him. He can roam around when he's like, oh, he ain't even looking. I'm about to get him. That's just the thought of any defender. He knows he's in a blind spot. He got all opportunity to roam around, play out of position. CJ can keep him in check because his eyes is in the middle of down the hash, but not where the safety is. You see, that's the difference between playing the play call and playing and reading the defense. If he's reading the defense, he peeks the safety. He's like, okay, this may be tight, but I can see it all in one vision because the tight end's running where the safety is looking to intercept. And that's easier when you tie your eyes to your feet because you can get off of it faster. Now, if he's looking at the safety, he's made thinking, okay, I can get off of this and look outside. But when you're running the offense instead of mastering the offense, you're like, the play is this. This is my first read. I'm not thinking about the defense. I'm thinking about being on time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just a case of that. You know, he probably felt good that he got a part of the defense where he sees the rush. So in his young quarterback mind, he's like, I'm replacing the rush by throwing it where number 9 can't see. Level 400 pre-snap, I'm peeking the free safety in the pressure, knowing that he may be a roamer or a single high safety look because it's pressure. Oh, because I peek it, my guy's in vision, I may or may not have it, but I can see it. He didn't even see this throw. 23 was a ghost. And that just comes with, you know, just reps and film and all other things. So this is a great play to indicate his growth. Next.
Yep.
So we'll come back to this now. We know what the issue is. We know where he could be better and where he went wrong. Does he correct it in the Heisman year next year?
Yep. I agree. That's why when you mentioned the dig route, I immediately was like, yo, this is the clip that can show exactly what Left is talking about, the area he needs to mature. And as he matures in that area, like you said, he's trying to hit Eli Raritan, his tight end target over the middle. That is where your tight ends can become very dangerous, especially if your outside guys are even more talented and even more dangerous.
Because those are the same plays that scare him away from throwing over the middle. And then when you're watching all 22, you're watching the TV, and you're like, dang, he missing dudes wide open, is because of plays like at Pitt where he's not confident of the fact that he didn't see him. I mean, that's a scary thing when you go back to the sideline and Denbrock's like, what happened? You didn't see him? He tell him, no, I didn't see him. I mean, shit. He didn't see him. So he like, shit, I don't know what that was, but I'm not doing that again. So he's got to have that next level of identifying what happened. Okay, I threw that and didn't see it because I didn't peek the safety. Now that goes to also elite coaching where, you know, fortunately, unfortunately, sometimes you got to go to where the best coaches are. Not every coach knows the same thing. So I was fortunate enough to go to a coach where he knows and been around the elite coaches of the league, right? Like not just coaching, but he's been around the guys that's doing it the best, right? So even things that I thought were simple understandings, hearing it from a guy that learned it from the best, it's a whole different understanding, right? And you know, so those are the things that you learn as you go on your way. And you know, CJ progressing through his own quarterback journey, you learn those things, right? But, you know, the best thing about playing football is that you learn on the fly.
Yeah.
You can't get that look in practice. I mean, you can talk about it, but when it happens in less than 3, 4, 5 seconds, you gotta do or die. Do I stick with it or do I, you know, go away from it?
Lucky Lefty podcast. So that is our synopsis of the tight end room. I've been on record thinking and saying that James Flanagan is going to be a breakout player. I like that he's an Anthony Fasano type, dependable, a guy that can be kind of that third down go-to guy for a quarterback. Not just this year, but 2 years, for 2 to 3 years, and then allow Ian Primer to be that Brock Bowers type matchup problem. You know, put him in the slot, put him all the way out to the field, put him to the boundary, do some different things with him, move him around, allow him to be a problem and a matchup issue for defensive coordinators and secondaries and linebackers. Allow him to grow. Like, don't come in expecting him. Like, it would be great if he could come in and be a great inline blocker. his game right now, where he can be impactful immediately, is to come in and to be used as a pass receiver and to stretch the field. And when you have guys like Cooper Flanagan, like I said, who was already a really good blocker, Ty Washington improved mightily throughout the year. You have James Flanagan, who I think is going to be a guy that can really do it both. I'm telling you, everybody just needs to say a prayer for the health of that room. And then Jack Larson, once again, that's a name you could be hearing over the PA multiple times next year.
Football.
Absolutely. So some people put a question mark next to the tight end room. I put an exclamation mark because I'm really excited about the potential and the variety of ways that tight end room can now blossom, with CJ Carr blossoming in his second year and attacking all areas of the field. I think that bodes well for what the tight end room will be able to do in 2026. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Great show today. We thank and appreciate everybody that joined us, jumped in the chat. Don't forget, audio edibles each and every day. Get over to Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Please support, check us out. And we're presented by FanDuel, FanDuel.com. Download the FanDuel app, TikTok, X, Instagram at Lucky Lefty Pod. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Do us a favor. Go subscribe on YouTube. We'll be here. I think this is our sweet spot. We've been researching, trying to find different spots in the off season, and I think 5:30 Central Time, that's 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 if you're out on the West Coast. I think that is going to be our sweet spot for our show on a daily basis. 5:30 Central Time, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast, and 6:30 on the East Coast. That's going to be our sweet spot. So we look forward to locking that in and making sure that we can give you some of the best conversations surrounding Notre Dame football and recruiting. So for Left, SD2 Mics, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the conversation surrounding Notre Dame being on schedule under Marcus Freeman going into year 5. Marcus Freeman being the 5th best college football coach, according to Joe Klatt, in the top 10 in the tight end room. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. But most of all, love each other and make sure you continue to spin it.
Spin it. Different.
Tomorrow.